What's up everybody, Watt007 here, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. And today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video is going to be just a ton of different content all rolled up into one, but the main focus point in today's video is going to be DSOD Yugi. Now, originally, I was going to be doing a reaction video to DSOD Yugi, but that reaction is actually going to be on YT Dan's channel. So once you're done watching this video, be sure to go check out YT Dan's channel so you guys can see his and my reaction to all the new level up reward cards and skills for DSOD Yugi. But don't worry, I'm still going to be talking about them in today's video. But yeah, if you want my first reaction on it, go check out his channel. But first, we're going to be taking a look at the new dialogue for this event right here. I'm going to be live reacting to unlocking DSOD Yugi, and then I'm going to be showcasing you guys what farm deck I used to get him and all of his level up reward cards and skills, because his skills are absolutely insane and there is so much to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it. And also, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you leave a like on the video right now and subscribe to my YouTube channel right now, Agami will become unlockable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links some point in the future. There we go. There we go, boys. Let's get into it. My monster is quite the looker. Feast your eyes on Iljam, the cubic seed. Mispronounced that, that's for sure. Boom. You're keeping its attack at 0? Correct, said Okaiba. Not surprising. While you cower from power, I embrace it. I summon Crystal Dragon, now attack Shazam. Dude, I gotta say, Crystal Dragon actually is really cool artwork, one of my favorites. Where did it go? To another dimension you cannot attack, and there's more. What's this? When a monster attacks Vijam, it loses its effects, because your monster is no longer of this dimension. Grr. You're only starting to witness what my cubics can do. Boom, 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 boom. Oh snap, it's DSOD Yugi, let's go! Yugimoto, come to Duel Links? Joey wants me there ASAP, but I have to make my deck first. And there's no way I could build a deck without this card. Hey, what's up, Dark Magician? How you doing, man? It's lovely. I can tell that card is precious to you, and to the Pharaoh. Huh? Who are you? I actually kind of like that, how it's clearly taken after the movie, but they incorporate that little bit of Duel Links into there, because it's not DSOD Yugi taking a look at his epic Dark Magician box. He's actually taking a look at Dark Magician because he's hopping into Duel Links. I like that. It's actually really cool. So let's go to a DSOD and let's go check out if we can unlock Yugimoto right now, because I have enough event points to unlock him, but I believe I actually need to battle the Cubic Beast one time before we can do that, because basically the recommended reward states you need to collect 2,300,000 points, and then you need to defeat a Cubic monster one time. So basically, once you reach this amount of points in the event, what you can do is that you can go to the event and then you can go smack it up real quick. So we got clearly enough event points right now. I currently have 3,942,000 event points, so I'm gonna go right there. But I think all I need to do is to do an assist duel real quick, and then the event stuff will unlock for DSOD Yugi. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a jump cut real quick, quickly smack up a Cubic Beast, and I'll go show you guys me unlocking DSOD Yugi. Actually, wait, before we do that, let me show you guys the deck that I was actually using to farm DSOD Yugi. So big shout out to RNG Life for the farm deck. I've been using it on my live streams, and this farm deck is actually really cool. Now, he actually made an Arrow Mage farm deck, but he also showcased this farm deck on this video, which I'm using right now. And it's a heavy starter, Obelisk the Tormentor, Magician's Rod, Dark Magician, Unga Boonga deck. But this deck is really good for farming the event, because yeah, just Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician do triple the damage, and then Obelisk does times 5 the damage, and you get a ton of event points with this deck. So I'm going to be using this deck real quick, and then we're going to be jump cutting to unlocking DSOD Yugi. Boom, bada, bang, there we go. We defeated Agami really quickly. Basically, how this farm deck works is that you just summon Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon and just keep swinging at Agami, and eventually you'll get that many event points. So even though my deck has a lot of expensive cards like Magician's Navigation, Dark Magical Circle, you can easily replace them with just any other card that can either easily summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, or if you have some other Unga Boonga cards that summon into Dark Magician, you can go for those. And yeah, all you need to do is just keep swinging at Agami with Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Eventually get that many event points. It's pretty simple to do, that's for sure. So unlocking DSOD Yugi is honestly not that bad, that's for sure. Would you look at that, we got ourselves a Dark Sage. Love to see it. So there we go, boys. Now we get to more event dialogue. I know that card is extra precious to the Pharaoh. Yeah, but how did you know? I know the Pharaoh because of my Master Shin. Shadi Shin. Not long ago, Master Shin bestowed us upon a great power. This power can remake a world into a utopia, but if misused, this power would do the opposite. This power, the power of Plana. Plana? I have no one else to turn to other than you, Yugi. Who are you? I am Sarah. Destiny has led me to you, so I trust you with my destiny. Come to Duel Links. This is actually really cool. I like this a lot. And save my brother Diva. Oh, and her thing was glowing too. She also had the little glowy effect. And look at that. We get to unlock Yukimoto. Honestly, I like that a lot. It's actually a really cool unlock sequence. I gotta say, that's really cool. So let's go take a look at DSOD Yugi. And I gotta say, DSOD's level up rewards and level up rewards and skills are insane. So first things first, what's up, DSOD Yugi? Hyped to see you here. First of all, we get another copy of Dark Magician in DSOD, which is awesome because now we have 2 copies of this. Hopefully you can get 3 by farming and whatnot. I don't know if the events could allow you to do that just yet, but we can now get 2 copies of the Dark Side of Dimensions Dark Magician, which is awesome. Can't wait till we get a 3rd one. That is for sure. But let's go take a look at his level up reward cards. Now, one of the brand new cards that is one of his level up reward cards is Dig of Destiny. When you take battle damage, you get to draw 1 card. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can draw cards equal to the number of Dig of Destiny in your graveyard. So this card is kind of like, it's just whatever. I mean, sure, you get to, take battle damage, draw on card. That's cool and all, but you would just rather want to rock just other trap cards in the game, like Countergate. I think would be a better card to rock than Dig of Destiny. But Dig of Destiny, it's okay. It's a whatever card, but it's okay. So we're gonna move on past that. Next up, at level 4, we can actually get a skill called Gathering of Disciples. This skill is really cool. Can be used by revealing 1 Dark Magician in your hand. Add 1 Dark Magician girl to the bottom of your deck. If you have 2,500 or fewer life points, you can add the Dark Magician girl to your hand instead. This skill can be used once per duel. This skill is really cool because anytime that you have Dark Magician in your hand, you get to add a Dark Magician girl into your deck for free. It's just taken from outside of your deck into the bottom of the deck. So due to that, you can now play Dark Magician Girl decks without wasting slots in your deck for Dark Magician, which is real, or Dark Magician Girl. So you can play those cards that can summon Dark Magician Girl and not have Dark Magician Girl in the deck anymore for no bricks. And what's good about that is that for the trap cards and spell cards in the game that specifically special summon Dark Magician Girl from the deck, you don't need to worry about drawing it to Dark Magician Girl. Sorry for basically repeating myself 20 times right there, but I think you guys get my point. Really cool with that effect right there, and to do it, you just need to have Dark Magician in your hand, and there are so many ways to search for Dark Magician, so this will promote the ability to utilize Dark Magician Girl, and it's still going to work really well in the current Dark Magician decks because you can easily search for Dark Magician and trigger the skill. Absolutely really cool skill, especially for a level up, a level 4 skill. Awesome right there. So I gotta say, cool skill. Next up, we have Spiral Spear Strike as a level up reward card. This card's actually already in the game, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but it's a reprint right there, which is really cool. Next up, we have a brand new card called Sentry Soldier of Stone, which is a 3-star Earth Rock effect monster. If all monsters you control are Rock-type monsters, minimum of 1, while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use the effect of Sentry Soldier of Stone once per turn. And this card is actually really cool, especially with another skill that we're going to be taking a look with, because there's actually a skill that relates to this card. But this card can definitely promote some really interesting plays. It can promote some synchro plays because if you only have rock monsters in the graveyard, you can special summon this sucker for free from the graveyard, which is going to be pretty cool, and you can go for some potential extended plays for synchro summoning. And if we do get Zexa World in September, we could probably utilize this card as a free target for going into some rank 3 monsters. If there's a way to easily pitch Sentry Soldier of Stone through a card effect, you can throw him real quick in the graveyard, special summon him for free, and go for some rank 3 plays. So definitely a cool card. Maybe we won't see that much play right now, but definitely something to consider for the future, so I like it. We get another copy of Dig of Destiny at a level 11. At level 13, we do get Spell Counter Boost. This skill is also really cool because you can activate the skill by revealing 2 spell cards in your hand, select 1 face-up card on the field that you can place a spell counter on, and place 1 spell counter on it. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. This is a level 13 achievement reward, as you guys can see on the screen right now, and this skill has the potential to be pretty good. Now, personally for me, I don't have that much knowledge on spell counter decks in the game, and you'll hear a little bit better discussion on YT Dan's video about this, but this skill could potentially be seen some play for a couple reasons. One, I have a lot of spell counter stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links already, and you can go for some really spicy plays with that. And second of all, if you're going to be playing a spell counter deck, you're probably going to have a lot of spell cards in your deck in the first place, so you can summon the monster that you want to equip some spell counters onto, and before you activate your spell cards that probably give it counters, you can trigger Spell Counter Boost to give it a spell counter, and then follow up with activating your other spell cards which is pretty cool. Or maybe you can consider using spell counter boost in maybe a spellbook deck, and what you can do is that before you activate your spellbook cards, you can just summon your spell counter monster, give it a spell counter, reveal your 2 spell cards by, through the skill, and then you get to give your monster a bunch of spell counters, and then you can activate your spell cards to go for the spellbook plays. Really good skill in my opinion, a very strong level up reward skill, that's for sure. And again, it might not see play right away, but I could definitely see this skill scene play sometime in the future. Next up, we actually have a reprint for Tackle Crusader, which means that we finally have 3 copies of this card in Duel Links. If you guys don't know what this card does, if it's sent to the graveyard, it can activate one of these effects. You can target a face of monster opponent controls, change your target to face down defense position, so it's basically a mill floodgate. You mill this sucker, you floodgate one of your opponent's monsters. Also, this card states you can target one face of spell and trap card opponent controls, return that target to the hand. This turn, your opponent cannot activate cards with the same name as that card returned in the hand by this effect. So, really cool card right here. Definitely nice to see this getting reprinted so you can help out those mill decks. We got another copy of Century Soldier Stone at level 16, third copy of Dig of Destiny at 18. Next up, at level 20, we have an insane skill right here called Dark Horizon. If you take a total of 2,000 or more damage, you can use this skill on your next turn. Play 1 Dark Magician Girl from your deck. If you took 2,500 or more damage in your previous turn, you can play 1 Dark Magician from your deck instead. This skill can be only used once per duel. I gotta say, this is definitely a sign that Konami does not want Dark Magician to die. They hit No Mortals Can Resist, they hit Sealed Tombs, and now they're adding a ton of Dark Magician support. And as you guys know, Dark Magician's a meta deck in the game, and now it has more options thanks to these skills, which is just absolutely insane. Because basically, if you didn't draw into your Dark Magician on the turn that you wanted to, you can just rock some cards in the game that can protect you for a turn, like rock a bunch of Spear Kribos or something like that in your hand, and then if you didn't draw into your Dark Magician that turn, but you got your Magician Navigation set down, got your Circle set down, you take a bunch of damage, and then you know what, previous turn you took a bunch of damage, hey, boom bada bang, let's go play our Dark Magician thanks to the skill Dark Horizon. Like, just play Kiteroid, play your Spear Kribos, and rock a bunch of Dark Magician and play this skill, and you're going to be good to go. I gotta say, Dark Horizon can potentially be a pretty good skill, that's for sure. Just in general, all of Yugi Moto's new skills are actually really cool, and we're going to talk about some of the the farmable ones that are crazy too. So, gotta say, Dark Horizon, pretty cool skill, that's for sure. Next up, we have another copy of Century Soldier of Stone. You can get a third copy from DSOD Yugi from leveling up to 21. Now we have a reprint at level 23. We have Beta, the Electromagnetic Warrior. It is so nice to see Konami reprinting Beta, Electromagnetic Warrior, and that's going to give Magnets a huge boost because it's going to be easier for them to summon into Super Circuitron, and Beta was one of the best ones for the Magnet archetype because when you normal special summon it, you can add a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your deck to your hand, except Beta, and then you can also tribute this one and special summon a level 4 Magnet Warrior from your deck. The fact that we have another copy of this card is insane. And speaking of another copy of the card, we can actually get another copy of this at level 35. So we now have 3 copies of Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior in Duel Links. I am very, very, very curious to see how strong Magnets are going to be with 3 copies of this. Magnets could potentially be a meta deck. Who knows? Very crazy right here. At level 25, we have a reprint for the Dark Dragon Lord. This card used to have been at 1, but now it's going to be at 3 copies thanks to the level 25 and level 33 rewards for DSOD Yugi. This is awesome to see because this card's going to be much more consistently played, and you're probably going to see a lot of people playing counter trap cards in the game because of the fact that we have Dark Dragon Lord at 3, because before, not many people play this card because it was locked at 1, but now that we have 3 copies of it, you're going to consistently draw into this card more, and be afraid of your opponent activating these counter traps because of Dark Dragon Lord, so they get to summon this guy for free if they activate a counter trap, and then once they activate the counter trap and it's successfully resolved, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then if this guy was special summoned this way, you get to activate certain effects depending on what you negated. So if you negated a spell, you summon this guy for free and then inflict 1,500 points of damage to your opponent. If you negated a trap, you get to target a card your opponent controls to destroy the target. If you negated a monster, you get to target a monster to graveyard special summon it. Absolutely insane, and now that's at 3, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be definitely crazy. And then we also have another Tactical Crusader reprint. So basically, with all these DSOD level up reward cards, the new cards are kind of like whatever. What really matters is these reprints right here, because these reprints were low-key limited to 1, but we're not on the limited 1 list. But now that they're accessed at 3, they might be seeing a lot of play. So definitely something to take a look at. And these level up reward cards are actually really good, and I like them a lot. Cannot wait to unlock, and not unlock, but level up Yugi Moto. Now let's go start talking about Yugi Moto's brand new skills. And the first one we're going to take a look at is Warrior Sacrifice. Sacrifice can be used if you begin your turn with fewer life points than your opponent and control no cards. You get to select one monster your opponent controls and send one Silent Swordsman monster from your hands to the graveyard. Until the end of the turn, the attack of the selected monster decreases by the attack of the Silent Swordsman monster. This skill can be used once per duel. So I'm kind of like whatever about this skill. Maybe I'm missing the point of this skill, but when I talked about this with Dan, there's like a couple things that Dan was mentioning, but for me personally, I wasn't really like feeling this skill whatsoever, because you have to, first of all, to trigger the skill, you need to have fewer life points than your opponent and control no cards at the current moment. So either you're just going to have your board wiped because your opponent did something, or you're going to maybe wipe your own board to trigger this effect. I don't know, but it just seems like it's going to be a little difficult to start or trigger this skill, because you need to have fewer life points than your opponents and you need to control no cards. Maybe what you could do though is that this would be a good turn 2 skill, because what you probably could do though, now thinking about it, is if you rock Cosmic Cyclone, your opponent goes turn 1, summons a monster, sets a couple back row cards, you can trigger Cosmic Cyclone real quick, and then you trigger Cosmic Cyclone, get sent to the graveyard, now you control no cards again, then you can trigger the skill for free. So I guess there's that going for it, but other than that, I can't really think of any other like good situations to trigger this skill right here, but if you go for that play, it could do some work. But yeah, you can send a Silent Swordsman monster from your hand in the graveyard, and then you can lower the attack of one of your opponent's monsters. And since skills don't target, if the monster has effects that state that it can't get targeted, it won't matter because the skill can bypass it. So you can do a couple neat things with it. But other than that, I'm just kind of like whatever about this skill. If you guys know how useful the skill is, tell me in the comments section down below. But I'm personally not feeling it. Now, this next skill that we're going to be taking a look at is insane, only for one specific reason. We're going to be taking a look at Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light, and let me read you the first sentence right here. Can only be used in tag duels. That right there blows my mind, and my reaction to that on YT Dan's video was insane, but I'm still getting goosebumps on the fact that this skill states can be only used in tag duels. Does that mean that Konami is potentially revealing that we're going to be getting tag dueling as a PvP event? Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, I have not taken a look at the upcoming updates, but I gotta say, we got tag duels right here. The upcoming updates better announce something for PvP tag duels, because I'm genuinely surprised that we have a skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links that says can only be used in tag duels. Shout out to the homie iGalaxy, because iGalaxy has been wanting PvP tag duels for so long now. He's going to be jumping for joy once he hears this, that is for sure. But yeah, at the beginning of your first turn, you can place one Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light face down on your side of the field. And this card is crazy. So this is a continuous trap card that states once per attack, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can pay 1,000 life points to negate that attack. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card for a graveyard. This turn, your opponent's monsters cannot attack directly. In a tag duel format, you're going to start off with 6,000 life points in the first place. You get to keep stopping your opponent from attacking you over and over again, because you can just keep declaring this by paying 1,000 life points. And then if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then your opponent's monster cannot attack directly. Insane. Absolutely insane skill, and you're going to see the skill be used a lot in tag duels, that's for sure. And yeah, just like I said, the fact that they are basically revealing that tag dueling is going to be a thing as a PvP event blows my mind. Now, like I said, haven't seen the upcoming updates yet at the time of recording this video, but crazy. Next up, we have a skill called Spiral Spear Strike. This can be used if you control a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster with 2,300 attack or more, or Gaia the Dragon Champion. Play one Spiral Spear Strike from outside of your deck. This skill can be used once per duel. I like this skill because of the fact that you can now play this card right here, Spiral Spear Strike, without wasting it in your deck, because this card's kind of cool. If Gaia the Fierce Knight, Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, or Gaia the Dragon Champion, you control attacks, events, piercing monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If Gaia the Dragon Champion inflicts battle damage, this effect draws you cards and discard a card. Now, I used to play a Gaia the Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight deck way back in the day in Duel Links, because it was a little meta relevant back in the day with Spiral Spear Strike, because you get that piercing damage. And I enjoy the deck. That was a lot of fun to play, but then like rocking Spear Strike was kind of a brick in the deck, because if you don't have your Swift Gaia, the Spear Strike was going to be useless. But now with this skill right here, if you get any of your Gaia the Fierce Knight monsters out onto the field, you get to play this card for free from outside your deck, so you don't need to waste space in your deck anymore for Spear Strike, and you just get the benefit of it through the skill, which I personally think is really cool, and I'm really glad that this skill's in the game. Next up, we have another skill called Centurification. Probably mispronounced that, but this skill states turn all Giant Soldier of Stone in your graveyard into Sentry Soldier's Stone. This skill can only be used once per duel. Now, this skill piques my interest because of the fact that you can basically get Sentry Soldier's Stone for free by using Giant Soldier's Stone. Dan and I were talking about in his video where you can probably use like maybe Advanced Ritual Art to pitch a couple of Giant Soldiers of Stone into the graveyard to go into a ritual summon, and then you can transfer these Sentry Soldier or these Giant Soldier of Stones to Sentry Soldier of Stone, and then special summon them from the graveyard and go for combos right there. That could be something to consider. You can also consider, you know, doing some other combos too, where you're going to be able to pitch it with That Grass is Greener, convert your Giant Soldier of Stone to Sentry Soldier of Stone, and just keep special summoning the suckers for Xyz plays if the Zexal comes out, and for Synchro plays, utilizing this 3-star with some other tuners. So I think this skill has the potential to be good, but at the same time, it might be here and there. It might be here and there. Like, I think it has potential, but it could not, because we do already have access to Sentry Soldier Stone just through leveling up Yugi Moto. But it's still cool that this skill exists, and I like it. Next up, we have an insane skill right here called Karibo Morph, and this skill is just ridiculous. You get to select one Karibo monster in your hand or on your side of the field, turn it into one of the fallen Karibo monsters. This skill can only be used once per duel. So you can convert your Karibo, Spirit Karibo, or Relinquished Karibo into any of these other Karibos right here. So if you have Karibo in your hand, you get to transfer it to a Spirit Karibo if you want to, or a Relinquished Karibo, or a Clear Karibo. So you can basically rock 4 copies of Spirit Karibo in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is just absolutely insane now. So now Spirit Karibo went from 3 to 4 thanks to this skill. Also, we have this new Karibo right here that's not been in Duel Links yet called Clear Karibo. This card states it's a level 1 light fairy effect monster. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect that would inflict damage, you can discard this card and negate the activation. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish the card from your graveyard, draw 1 card. If it's a monster, you can special summon it, then change the attack target to it. You only can activate this effect of Clear Karibo once per turn. And this card on paper isn't anything insane, but thanks to the skill right here, Karibo Morph, it's low-key turning Karibo into an extra or side deck monster. You're not going to be able to use Clear Karibo in every duel, but if the situation happened where your opponent does activate a lot of monster effects that would inflict damage to you, you can be like, oh, I got my Karibo here, let me activate the skill and switch it to a Clear Karibo so that I can trigger Clear Karibo's effect, which is just really cool right here. And like I said, you can transfer your Karibos into Spirit Karibos. It's just ridiculous. It's basically like a side deck, but specifically with Karibos, which is just something absolutely insane. And yeah, something that I could definitely see some play in the game, because if people want to play more copies of Karibo, they now can with this Karibo Morph. Yeah, it's crazy. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at a skill called Contract Door. Can be used if your life points are at 2,000 or below. Add 1 magical Contract Door to your hand from outside of your deck. Then add 1 Monster Reborn to your opponent's hand. This skill can only be used once per duel. Now, I'm still kind of iffy on what the original purpose of this skill is, but I think it is for the Val Dragon, the Dark Dragon Lord. But yeah, basically what Contract Door does is that when you have 2,000 life points or below, you get to add a magical Contract Door to your hand from outside your deck. This card states you can add 1 spell card, or when you activate this spell card, you have to add 1 spell card from your hand to your opponent's hand, then add 1 level 7 or 8 dark monster from your deck to your hand. So already this card is kind of a handicap, because you have to give a spell card to your opponent to then add a level 7 or 8 dark monster from your deck to your hand. So there's that right there. And then on top of that, you do need to give your opponent Monster Reborn. So like, on paper, at first glance, you're like, whoa, this skill is OP. But at the same time, it's kind of like, is it OP? But like I said, you're probably going to want to combo it with this card right here, Dark Dragon Lord, because if you're rocking a counter trap deck, you can basically give your opponent Monster Reborn. Your opponent's going to want to activate Monster Reborn for that free summon of any monster from your player's graveyard, and then you just negate it with your counter trap card. That's kind of the thought process that I think Konami is going with Contract Door, but let me know in the comment section down below on why you think that this skill is pretty busted, because at the end of the day, this card does allow you to add any level 7 or 8 monster from your deck to your hand, like any one of them, and there's a lot of 7 and 8 dark monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, like a ton. So, you know, with that god tier searchability, I guess it is kind of understandable on why you would basically give Monster Reborn to your opponent for free. So I don't know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting in my opinion, that's for sure. And then the last skill we can take a look at is Born from the Earth. Can be used if you control a Dark Magician and your life points are at 2,000 or below. Place 1 Metamorphosis face down on your side of the field. If your opponent controls a dragon type monster with 3000 attack or more, you can use the skill regardless of your life points. This skill can only be used once per duel. Now clearly this is a skill related to going against Seto Kaiba, but let's go take a look at what this card does right here. So this is a continuous trap card that states, you can activate this card by targeting a level 4 or higher monster you control. Special summon this card as an effect monster, and then equip that face of monster to this card. If summoned this way, this card gains attack and defense equal to the attack of the monster equipped by this effect. Also, if it attacks, change it to defense position at the end of the damage step. So, it's okay. Yeah, this skill is kind of like, okay, definitely for going against, definitely for going against Blue Eyes White Dragon, because you can combo this card with your Dark Magician and get over Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is clearly a skill that is based off of the anime, or the movie, and nothing more. I don't think that this is good. I think it's just a reference to the movie, like some of the skills that DSOD Joey has, where a lot of his skills are just huge references to the movie. And that's going to be the last skill that we're going to discuss about in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. I gotta say, DSOD Yugi is an awesome unlockable character, and if you guys are watching this video before May 31st, be sure to go and unlock DSOD Yugi, because his skills seem to be super powerful, and his level up reward cards are not bad whatsoever, so be sure to go unlock DSOD Yugi right now. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys want to see my first impressions on all of these skills and whatnot, be sure to go check out YT Dan's video. Hopefully his video will be out around the same time that my video is now out. Me and him are both working right now to get the content out for you guys, so be sure to go check all that stuff out. If you guys haven't already, be sure to go leave a like on today's video and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content. Other than that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and I'll go see you guys next one. Adios, everybody.